So take me through that moment. So you said there was nothing in that moment that you could feel proud of, or like really was an accomplishment. I mean, so what was the next step? I mean, did you feel like, because I know you said Grand was always in church. Did your dad go to church? No. So even when y'all went, he wouldn't go. Okay, so would you say in that moment you felt you had an experience with God, or do you feel like, and when I say God, do you feel like you had an experience of the God within, or did you have an experience with the God in heaven? There's so many different views of God, so many different, right, and that is a whole other rabbit hole.
We might deal with it some point.
Yeah. We definitely go. We definitely get there. Stay tuned. So and literally, man, like we have no subject is off limits. So ask Pops right now. You getting to know Pops. But we're opening it up for any question that you guys may have, whether you're a young man, an older man, a woman that would like a man's perspective, a teenager, we're open to all questions that you may want to ask them.
So at some point you'll tell them where to send the questions.
Yes. So and if you do have a question, I know this is the first episode, but if you do have a question, you can send that question to Ask Pops 70, that's ASKPOPS 70@gmail.com.
Cool.
And we'll make sure we get those questions in, and we'll get those questions answered or give some perspective. Okay, so you move back in with Grand.
Yeah, moved back in with her, and I told her, I said, I need a job. I'm going to look for a job. And so she was going to look for a different job. She always did like janitorial her life. So there was a machine shop not far that she had put in an application with. She was going to do some machinery work. So she said, why don't you go with me? Maybe you could put in an application. I said, well, I don't know about machinery, but I'll go with you. So I went with her to fill out the application. And long story short, I just sat in there with her, but I didn't apply for anything. And the guy told her that she wasn't qualified to do the work. He said, but I am looking for somebody to do janitorial work, because that's what she put on her resume.
Okay, yeah.
And she said, well, no, I don't want to do it here, because it was just greasy, grimy. And I told him, I said, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Because I was looking for a job. So I immediately spoke up. So long story short, he hired me that day for 4 hours a day. That's all I had. But, Mom and my stepdad, they really weren't going to charge me, because they liked the idea that I walked away from that. And I wanted a better life. So they wanted to support me in that.
Right.
So I started with that company for 4 hours a day, just doing janitorial work. And my whole outlook, I didn't even care. It was greasy, grimy, dirty. And I was cleaning the bathrooms and cleaning the break areas. And from guys that work in grease, they half wash their hands and they do this. And so it was really messy.
Yeah.
But I got in there, man. Every time they were going there, I would spot clean it, make it really clean and nice. I did that for 4 hours a day for like maybe 3 months.
Okay.
But I was still looking for other jobs, but I didn't get another job. I was still there.
Yeah.
So he was so impressed. He said, you know what? He said, I really like what you're doing. It was minimum wage, but still.
How much was minimum wage back then?
Minimum wage back then was like $6.50 or something like that. It was maybe something like $5-6. It wasn't a whole lot.
Okay.
So and see, that was back in the mid-70s.
Yeah.
And so he let me not only work for 4 hours a day. He said, you got your driver's license? I said, yes, sir. He said, well, I might have you make some deliveries for me too. So I said, okay, sure. So I would work the janitorial, but if he had a delivery, I would stop cleaning and make the delivery, come back and pick up. So it gave me like 8 hours. But I was still making minimum wage.
Right.
And so I would, and really not being racial, but this is my life.
Yeah, sure.
It was like 15 white guys worked there.
Yeah.
I was the only black there doing the janitorial. The whole company.
Okay, yeah.
And so what the guys would do, because I would go to work with a necktie on. Don't ask me.
Be a janitor?
Kim Harbaugh. I was dressed
sharp going to
because I was trying to make an impression.
Yeah.
I didn't get no audible voices or nothing. It's
just who you were.
Yeah. So
and that's one thing, man. That's a great point. Like, because a lot of people think that money make everything better.
Yeah.
But it's who you are inside.
Yeah.
That makes the man, that makes the person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some things just have to be in you.
Yeah.
And being real with where you are, at least you have a starting point to know this is where I am, and having a vision of where you want to go. So would you say that having that sort of where did you get that from? I mean, because I can't think of a time where I would ever put on a shirt and a tie to go clean a bathroom.
Yeah.
Where did that come from? Like, was that something that was ingrained in you as a child? Was that something that your dad put in you? Was that something that grand put in you? Like, what do you attribute that to?
I think every person on the inside of them have the core of their personality, or the core of what we should be and how we should be as an individual. Because I didn't see it. My environment didn't give me any of that.
Yeah.
You know, my mom didn't say, well, since you go in this new job, you need to put on a shirt and tie, because she knew it was a greasy, grimy job.
Right.
It's just on the inside of me, when I made the decision, I need to change. I want to do things right. There was another whole part of me that just kicked in.
So you wouldn't necessarily say that growing, because I know when we were coming up, you guys instilled in us to always, look your best, do your best, look a man in the eye when you shake his hand, firm handshake, be confident, look presentable, So you wouldn't necessarily say that was ingrained in you, as opposed to it was just a part of you that just clicked in or there was another piece of you that was awakened that just clicked in when you made the decision to change.
Yeah, I know it was always there. It was just life issues allowed it to manifest itself. I think we all have those parts of us that we don't either know are there, or we don't want to accept it as there, because it might take away from something else we like or want to do or whatever. So when I gave up everything I thought I wanted, that other piece just showed up.
Okay.
And so, like I said, I felt good going to work in the tie, and and the guys, what they would do, they mocked me, if I could use that term.
Yeah.
Because I would go in and clean this bathroom up really nice and make it look good. And then when they went in there to use it and wash their hands, they did the shake where the grease and the residue, it just messed it all up again.
Yeah.
When they would go eat at their little break area, instead of throwing the whatever they had away, whether it was, because they had a food truck that would come up, or the little small ones back during that time. Yeah. And then they would leave whatever they eat, and they would just leave it on the table for me to clean it up. And then the owner of the company would see this.
Yeah.
He didn't say anything to them about it. He noticed that I didn't either. I just cleaned it up. And I think it gained such a high respect because I was only black there, first of all. And he knew what they were doing, but he knew that I didn't respond to it. Yeah. And it was just in there. It was, nobody taught me that. It was just in there. And I think we all got that in us.
So why, and this, I'm curious to know.
Yeah.
And just to keep it real, I know I couldn't have done that and not said something.
Yeah.
What was it that you feel, what was the reason you didn't say something?
I think first of all is because I wanted to keep my job. Okay. I wanted that job. Okay. And I was willing to do anything to have that job. And I was willing to do anything to show this man that I really want to be here. Okay. I want to raise, I want to get promoted, I want to do all I can to make a good impression. And so I think that's where the motivation of it all came from. Okay. And I didn't mind doing it, which was the other piece on the inside.
And see, that's all. I gotta dig a little bit deeper into that part, cause I gotta dig deeper into that, because I'm not quite that guy. But so how did that make? So what I'm hearing, the way I'm hearing what you're saying is, You wanted to make an impression, and of course, we're not racist or none of that. If you're offended, I'm sorry for you, but
we
ain't on that type of time. But we gonna talk real and unapologetically real. So I'm gonna ask an unapologetically real question from my unapologetic mind.
Yeah.
All right. So you're a grown man, only black grown man, working. Of course, this is the '70s. This, Martin Luther King and all of that stuff was going on. '60s, you know what I'm saying? '50s, '60s, '70s. The whole civil rights. All of that's going on. So we fresh out of that. For context. It's still the '70s. So in the South. So how did that truly make you feel? Because what I'm hearing is, I'm trying to impress this white guy, who sees his employees, because he could set some rules and regulations in place very easily, that would make it, respectable and a healthy work environment for all of his employees. But he sees the mistreatment, doesn't say anything, and his employees are, like you said, mocking you and being very disrespectful towards you, just as a human being. So they may still have some of that left over in them. I don't know, but what I'm hearing is that being treated that way did not bother you. Am I hearing that correctly?
This is where, when I went to Mom's that night and I said, now God, I don't even believe if you real. Jesus, I don't even believe. But if you are, change my life.
Yeah.
So Mama gave me her Bible, and in the midst of trying to find a job and all that, I started reading it. Because again, I'm looking for answers.
Right.
And I'm reading this, I asked my stepdad, where should I start? He said, well, you can start in the book of Matthew, but I suggest you start in the book of John. So he found the book of John for me.
Right? Table of contents. Yeah.
So I started reading the book of John and reading about the life of Jesus and reading all the stuff that he went through and all the stuff that he suffered. Right. And he was talking about, he was the first of many brethren, and that, God wanted us to be like this, to show him that we believe him by not responding to the hurt that other people bring you. That you should be bigger than that. And
so love your enemies.
Yes.
Pray for those that
despitefully use you,
treat you wrong.
Yeah, I read all that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. And because, like
if you don't forgive your neighbor, then God won't
forgive you.
Okay.
Yeah. So all of those kinds of things I started reading, still saying, I don't really know if you're real or not, but if you're real, change my life.
Right.
So it's like, I didn't like it. Yeah. I didn't like that I knew what y'all were doing.
Yeah.
But there was something in me that says, just clean it up.
Okay. So the golden rule. Love your neighbor.
Yeah, the golden rule.
Treat your neighbor
like
you want.
And that's the same in any language and any country. Right. Right. And so that's really what got me through that, to the point to where I started enjoying it. Crazy. But it made them more upset that I did not respond to that negative.
Right.
To where it became a thing for me.
Right.
And it was a beautiful thing that I think my boss saw. And so it made him want me around even more. Yeah. And then one by one, it started changing the guys that were there. But
so
it started,
you literally saw, and that's another powerful moment, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't know if I could have, but that just shows, like how they say, and that we talking the scripture and Bible. Yeah. Overcoming evil with good. Don't be overcome by evil. Yeah. But overcome evil with good. And so it's like you actually saw your efforts to follow after what you was reading and the answers that you were feeling in your heart was the right thing to do, you actually saw you putting that love out into the world start to change that environment as a whole.
It changed that environment over time. It changed.
Wow.
And it was, again, I didn't hear no audible voice, any of that. And I just believe that on the inside of us, it's more than what we really think.
Yeah.
And because of our society, and I'm sure we'll talk about these things in future broadcasts or videos, that we have to change the narrative because it just makes life better for everybody.
You're right.
You know, and that's the thing. We've been conditioned that, you know, if you want to blow off the handle, go for it. You know, you have a right. But I had given up everything that I thought I had a right to when I got on my knees. Because I didn't like my life no more. So I was willing to take whatever was next.
Yeah.
If I would have felt in my heart to say something, I would have said something.
Right.
But it never entered my heart to say something.
I got you. Wow. Powerful stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I like talking to Pops. And that's why I feel like you guys would enjoy hearing what Pops had to say. Because, hey, you know, those are invaluable lessons and actual stories and experiences that show, hey, you know, there's more than one way to see things. There's more than one approach. Like, you don't have to always, you know, be confrontational and give the same energy that somebody's giving you. As far as, you know, someone, you know, may be having a bad day and their attitude may not be the best. And so you're what's your problem? And then there's this, you know, this bad interaction there where maybe, hey, if you just smile and say, hey, how you doing? You know, even if they may not be feeling it, at the end of the day, there's still a positive reaction to a positive response to a negative reaction towards you. So it's like, you know, for me, you know, that's something that I'm still working on in some ways, because I'm not necessarily, you know, and it's just because as a man, like, hey, you know, I'm cleaning mine up. I'm not your mama. I'm not your wife. Throw your stuff away.
Exactly.
You know.
But, and that's the normal response. That's just where we are. But I could think in my situation, I was reaching this way. For a higher power that I didn't even know existed. So I trusted the decision I made, you know, and he could have said, you know, slap him. And if that would have felt, that's what would have happened, and I'd have lost the job. So I was going on just what I said, because you think about it, is that there are many religions. I did a religious search, and there's like 4,000 different religions, just all over the entire world. But the core value of all of them, regardless to who their supreme is love. And peace, and harmony, and all those things. So I had to believe that I was being motivated by a higher power. And if we want our world to exist and our families to exist, we have to start seeking what we believe is that. Which, that's a chapter in my book. Is about Christianity and religion. I don't care what you believe. I know what I believe. I don't care what you believe, but are you living what you believe? Because if you are, not only are you making your life better, but you're making the lives better of those that you influence. And that's kind of what I see now over the years of where all that started.
Right. Man, good stuff. And like you said, literally, that and that's definitely kind of where I am. There is universal laws. That I feel like have been established by the Creator. That religion is a man's best effort at that.
I like
best
that.
Explanation.
I like that. Religion is man's best effort, and even in religion, we get it so wrong.
So wrong, and we, you know, and it for a lot of it further divides us and further brings all those things that aren't necessarily godly or godlike into our society as a whole.
Amen, brother.
So man. Hey, Till the A. So this has been the first episode of, you know what I'm saying, Ask Pops, you know. Hey, a lot more to come. I know this has been a great episode. Pops, I appreciate you, man,
I appreciate you,
you know what I'm saying, all your wisdom and just for being a great dad and just being the best man that you can be, man, at every step of life, man, as you were figuring it out. As you know, you may not have had answers, but you were making the choices that
still figuring.
Still figuring. I mean, it's a lifelong journey,
Yes.
you know. So yeah, man. Hey, until next time, Big Bro War.
Pops.
Signing out, man. Peace.
Can't forget about Chloe.
And Cho. Say bye to the people. All right, peace, y'all.